Welcome back, everyone, to Titancraft. We're here in the shop again to have a little visit. Now that we have this all done, and a whole bunch of the factory done as well, all the infrastructure work that we did in the last episode, we now have a fairly well-stocked shop. I've got a whole lot of stuff here. I just stocked all of this yesterday, and looks like we have a little bit of sales. Like I said a few episodes ago when we did this shop, I'm trying to do like pretty reasonable prices. Most things in the shop are 1 stack for 1 diamond. There's only a few things that are not 1 stack for 1 diamond, like chiseled bookshelves, because that uses a lot of wood, daylight detectors, which use a ton of quartz. Just way expensive, and I feel like this is a pretty fair price, pretty fair amount for 1 diamond. And then redstone blocks, 32 for 1 diamond, because I've used literally all of my redstone. I have nothing left for redstone, and this is about as much as I could scrounge together. I would love to have this entire thing filled up. People are definitely wanting redstone. I really need to get a better source of redstone going. There's a couple other things that I need stock of, like sculk sensors. I also don't have anything in here for TNT or rockets, and I've also got to get some slime going as well. So that's a few things that will kind of inform what this episode is going to be about. We need redstone, we need slime, we need sculk sensors, and we need gunpowder. So 2 of those things are handled by the same farm, but we need to do 3 farms in total today. Slime farm, a sculk farm, and a raid farm. Those are the 3 things we're going to tackle today. And I've actually already done a little bit of work on a slime farm. We are out here in the middle. Ow. Dude, why? Stop. We're out here in the middle of the ocean to take a look at the slime farm and how it's going. I mean, technically we're always in the middle of the ocean because that's just how our base is. Everything is in the middle of the ocean, even the big factory behind me, technically in the middle of the ocean. But we are down here underneath of this random spot in the ocean, or what is seemingly a random spot in the ocean. Something is going to be here eventually. Something quite large is going to be here eventually. But underneath of that something is going to be our slime farm, and actually our sculk farm as well. They're actually going to be right next to each other. If I come down here, this is my only entrance into it currently, and my only way out as well. I have to like fly out if I want to get out. Down here we have got a little slime farm. We have, I've not made it that big. I don't want it to be like gigantic. I only really need to stock the shop, and I think this is going to be perfectly fine for our needs. I've just finished putting this together, and I've already seen lots of slime spawn in here. I really need to make sure that all of the surrounding area is spawn proof with like lighting up for other mobs. I want to go find other slime chunks in the area and maybe slab them up underground anywhere that they need to be so slimes don't spawn there instead. We get lots of slime spawns here. But the basic gist of it is that there's going to be iron golems in these little cubbies right here. Slimes are going to jump down here, and I forgot I took my lighter off. They're going to come down here, get killed by the magma, kind of shrunken down if they're big. They're big slimes, so it's shrunken down to little slimes by the magma. And no matter where they fall down in any of these sections here, they will all end up here. And if we come over here, we can see underneath of those central magma blocks is a minecart that picks up all of the slime that ends up in that spot and shoots it out here into this water stream, and will then end up here. Where is it? Here. Oh, we've already got a slime ball here, actually. Oh, this water probably isn't flowing enough. I probably need to push this out one. So I just set these chests up right before I started filming. So I'll adjust this so that these actually get caught in the hopper and whatnot. But yeah, we are going to have all of our slime come up here and eventually end up in this chest right here. This is just a janky, very temporary little gathering system for the slime, and possibly for all the sculk stuff as well. I might send all the sculk stuff up here as well if that ends up working out. But we basically need to come back down here and start putting in our golems here. I think that they'll spawn with this block directly above them, but I'm not entirely sure, so let's go ahead and test that out here. Didn't mean to put that there. I'm not sure if I need to break out this part or not. No. Okay, we're good. I'm going to go ahead and fence them in like this. And we're going to do that for all of the golems here. Shouldn't take too long. I haven't put too many here. Basically, there's enough golems for them to be able to see the slimes, to be able to see them no matter what layer that they're on. And this is the last one here. Very nice. Definitely brought way more supplies than I needed, but there's all of my iron golems in place. And hopefully the slime farm starts producing, and we get all the slime we need for the shop. We are going to go ahead and get started on the sculk farm now. How am I climbing this ladder, you ask? I have no idea. Minecraft magic. You know how it is. We're going to get started on the sculk farm now. The spawner that I'm going to be building it around, and yes, I'm building it around a spawner. The spawner is like right directly around here. I gotta find the exact spot, but it is right around here. We have dug down here to this zombie spawner. We're down at Y-23, and we have a whole bunch of area that we need to dig out around this thing. Basically just want to dig a big room around this spawner in which to build the farm. So I'm going to get going on doing that right now. And we have got basically a bit of a deep slate brick box going on here now. This took a few hours. I did go by a little bit more quickly because of this pick that I've got, which is an efficiency 6 pick, which is an above item, as you could probably guess. So you still can't insta-mine deep slate or anything like that, but it does help at least a little bit. This is some of the stuff that I dug out. I already took a bunch of shulkers over to the bulk storage. I'm going to build a pretty standard, mob farm kind of thing around the zombie spawner, kind of like how we did in episode 2 with our skeleton spawner. It's going to be a very similar kind of thing there, but attached to it, attached to the drop chute. So the zombies are going to be taken up and then dropped right around here. When we're actually using the sculk farm, we'll be just in enough distance from the spawner for the zombies to keep spawning, and zombies are going to drop down on the sculk farm. And basically, a sculk catalyst is going to attach to a stone generator. So the stone's going to be constantly generating. There's going to be sculk and stuff on top of the sculk, like sculk sensors and stuff like that, generating on top of that. And I can mine it out with a hoe. This is a farm that was designed by Rayworks. It actually was originally designed to be used in the end with an Enderman farm, but I didn't want to do another end farm. I already have to go out to the end for my wither roses. I would really like to just have a nice overworld sculk farm so I can eventually send all the items up and above the water here to whatever is going to be here above the ocean surface, which you'll see sometime within the next few episodes. We'll actually send all the sculk stuff up to its its permanent storage place, and along with the slime that we just built the farm for. So all that stuff is going to go up to an actual building up above, and that's what I wanted to have happen here. In this whole base out on the ocean is actually have my farms here, and having it out in the end just wouldn't have been as satisfying. So it's not going to be as efficient as an Enderman farm would have been, but it's going to be just plenty enough. What I'm mainly after is sculk sensors from this farm, and it'll produce plenty of those for our needs, which is basically just to sell them in the shop. So I'm going to get started on building all this out, and then I'll show you how the farm works. Here is our lovely sculk making machine, all completed and ready to be run. I've actually already given a little bit of a test run to make sure that it works, but I wanted to show you it in action. So basically we have here some minecarts running that'll collect up everything that gets dropped when we mine sculk stuff out. If we come down here, we can actually turn this on, that'll turn on the stone generator. Once this actually gets running, once you actually start mining stuff out, that'll keep the stone generator running, and we'll probably keep that turned off while I'm not here. Then we can kind of see what's going on here. There's some of the things that are left over from my little bit of a testing before. I've got some shriekers and some sensors here, but this is basically where the mobs fall down. Well, they'll fall down on a dripstone here. This is enough height for them to fall down and die on the dripstone, and when they die, it basically causes more sculk stuff to spawn down here. And we're mainly going to use this, like I said before, for sculk sensors. So we'll mainly be just mining out the sculk sensors, and I guess the sculk shriekers up above here as well. But we can also use this to collect the sculk itself. This is where the player stands to get the stuff. So if we come in here, I can grab one of our hoes, a silk touch hoe, and if I turn this on, this will start to make a piston underneath, push back and forth a honey block. So if I stand here on top of these campfires, it'll automatically push me into the 3 spots necessary to start making this work. So I'm going to keep on mining here. I see we're getting lots of sculk here, and see I can also mine the sculk if I want to aim just a little bit lower. We'll see how that works. So there's zombies falling and dying, more sculk being added, but I'm going to aim up here. I'm going to let this stuff stay sculk and just aim up here and wait for these sensors to start spawning. And after some time, I should have a decent amount of these. This is a nice AFK farm. I can just keep my my mouse button held down and walk away and just let this do its thing. And these are now fully stocked up here, 32 for 1 diamond for each of the calibrated and the sculk sensors here. Very nice. And now we still haven't stocked TNT or rockets, and the redstone blocks have completely sold out. So I think we know what we need to do next. We need to tackle a raid farm. We are once again in the middle of the ocean. This is going to happen a lot. Get used to it. We're in the middle of the ocean again. We're over here. So there's the factory over there. It's going to be a pretty standard raid farm. This is ENXO4's design, which I'm sure you've seen if you've watched any Minecraft videos. I'm sure you've seen plenty of people build this. It gets built on Hermitcraft all the time. It's been built several times on this server, and I'm going to build one on here as well. It's a modified version for paper servers. There's a few modifications that you have to do to make it ready and working on a paper server. Which is what this is. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into getting this raid farm built. It's time now to get some villagers into this thing. Oh boy. And with our villagers in, this farm is technically done. I mean, it's totally done, right? There's no way that I would possibly want to complicate this very simple raid farm in any way. Surely this farm is going to just stay how it is, sitting in the middle of the ocean as just a farm, right? Right? This has kind of been the episode of mob moving. I've just grabbed this guy here from this little hole in the wall. This is actually the original mushroom that I grabbed from the main spawn island, from the shopping district island. When the season started on day 1, I grabbed this mushroom and brought him over here in order to have infinite mushroom soup, and now he's going to his forever home to be an infinite source of milk instead. That's right, buddy. We're going to your forever home. Another thing that I showed a little bit of was that this iron farm here, I ended up taking the villagers out of here and using them inside of the raid farm, because I already have an iron farm over here. The permanent iron farm is over there, and there's no reason for me to have 2 iron farms. So, and as you can see, I added some things to my resource packs here. You might have noticed previous episodes. I honestly don't know when exactly I added this, but I added better clouds. First of all, you might have noticed that at some point. I added fresh animations, so mobs have more animations, and I added not enough animations, which is a mod that adds animations to the player. So right now, I guess I'm rowing. Is that what I'm doing? I guess I'm rowing. I don't know if this animation completely works if there's a mob behind you. I think if I was alone in the boat, it would look better probably. But, oh, we're passing this. So we're going to take the mushroom into here. I have a nice permanent little cell for him to sit in. And there's a lot of stuff to get caught on here. Hopefully this works fine. Look at his walk. I like his walk with the fresh animations. I moved villagers over here, a whole bunch of villagers. I lost a couple of villagers in the process, so I had to move a few other villagers in here. And of course I had to move a laze in here, which I'll talk about in a second. We're going to bring this guy in here. Come on. Stay in there. There we go. So this is the storage here. Each of these is individual 6-speed shulker loaders. So back in the back, we have a whole bunch of shulkers ready to load lots and lots of items into them. And so we got tons of emerald shulkers here now. I've ran the farm for a couple of hours, basically in between resets in the server here. The server resets every 2 hours, so I ran it during that time period. Got a little bit of gunpowder, got a little bit of redstone, glowstone, sugar, bottles. That'll be nice for the honey farm. Spider eyes, and sticks. That's very nice. That'll be good for redstone stuff. And lots of totems. I didn't put too many chests here. I put a few double chests here. But what I did was I put some hoppers in the floor here. So I'm just going to kind of purge this double chest of the shulkers a little bit here. And there's hoppers in the floor in front of each of these, or each section. And I can kind of empty out the current shulkers here and let them go down below. So there's an underground storage here for extra like bulk storage. And I can come down here, basically take out the emeralds, take them out and craft them all into blocks here and fill up my shulkers with emerald blocks instead of regular emeralds, regular just loose emeralds. And once that's done, I can go ahead and grab any of the empty shulkers and throw them in here, and they'll get sent to empty shulker storage. Mostly just did this for visuals and for the space up above. The space up above, I really wanted to fit the 6x speed shulker loaders up there and not take up too much space with all the chests and stuff. So I decided to put some chests underneath here for extra storage, just to make it easier to have lots and lots of shulkers of things. So yeah, let's just come around and take a look, I guess, at what's going on here. This is kind of the front door here. Let me put this back. This is kind of the front door. You basically come in here. This whole thing is made to look like, of course I have a phantom spawning. I haven't slept in a long time. We've got this really cool brick facade to the building out here, which I really, really like. Very reminiscent of, you know, some of the stuff over here, and to the shop. Getting attacked by more phantoms. And we got a giant clock tower coming out the top here. It's kind of crazy. It's really, really over the top and tall. But of course the raid farm has to be this tall. It's really excessively tall. But that way, everyone living out here on the ocean, on the different spots on the ocean that we're going to have things, you know, like right here. As I said, there's going to be something right here in the ocean, over here in the ocean, and then over there in the ocean as well. We're going to have some things, and they're all going to be able to see the clock tower from a distance. This was originally the same all around, but I ended up having to put this bit right here, this kind of different section here. As you can see, it's a little bit different as I'm spawning a ton of phantoms here. It's a little bit different from the rest of what it looks like all around. Had to kind of cut into the clock itself a little bit, because something I didn't realize when I started building this and when I started designing it was that the section of the farm that spawns the raids needs to have sky access. So I built this whole thing and didn't give it sky access, and it wasn't working. So I had to build this little cutout section here to give it sky access, and that ended up working out just fine. But now this whole bit down there, that bit right there is part of the farm where the raids spawn. Needed sky access, and now it does. That's not like ideal, but it looks fine. I wanted this to have kind of like a grounding into the ocean floor here with these like cool pillars here. I'm really happy with like how these pillars look on the inside here with these cross beams. I think they look really cool. Just really give this industrial look that I was going for. And the interior also had got the exact vibe I was going for. I was really going for like a kind of claustrophobic, windy, and maze-like kind of like interior factory kind of thing. Wanted to be able to have access to each part of the redstone. And so there's a weird access to each part of the redstone here, and then a loop around here. This is kind of like trash, the redstone for the trash. This is where items fall down and get sent up to sorting. And over here, we've got the actual sorting itself, which I'm really happy with, like these kind of pipes coming out of the center here. And these 6x shulker loaders are a design. I can't remember the name of the person right now, but I will put it in the description, who designed these 6x shulker loaders. They're really, really cool and work really well on the server and work really fast. And as we go up here, we can see the actual sorting here. This is the sorting system for the raid farm itself, and this is the sorting for the shulkers. So these hoppers coming out the back here are similar to the main factory, where I have a central area where shulkers are stored. And anytime one of these hoppers runs out of shulkers, it basically turns this redstone signal on and sends it down to the shulker storage and requests shulkers to be sent to the hopper until it gets filled up. And that's how we never have to fill up each individual shulker loader with shulkers. We just have to fill one central location with shulkers, which is really convenient and really nice. So we have shulker loaders all throughout here. We just kind of have some like hanging machinery here, similar to what we did in the main factory as well at the Guardian farm. And yeah, we just kind of have a nice walkable redstone area back here so I can see what's going on, making sure everything's working correctly. The biggest pain in the butt of this was getting these guys in here. Oh my God. Once they're in here, they work really nicely. They work really well. As you can see, I got plenty of totems, plenty of totem shulkers, so they work really well. But getting them in here was the biggest pain in the butt ever. It was just awful getting them in here. And when I'm here, I usually have my sound off, so I'm usually not hearing that because I don't want to hear all the raid noises, and I don't want to hear that. But it is what it is. We'll just leave it be for now. And then back here we have a banner guy storage. So every time raids spawn in, a banner guy falls down and gets captured in this boat here. So this is easy, start a new raid, grab a sword, kill this guy, and then immediately go start the raid farm. So I don't have to go find a pillager outpost to start the raid farm, which is really, really nice. There's a stairway going up to the rest of the tower, the big clock tower. We can kind of see into the big clock tower here. We can go all the way up if we want to. In here, this is like the roof. There's nothing in here yet. I might put some stuff up here. I think the space will get used eventually, but I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with it yet. So we're just going to leave it blank for now. And this thing is entirely spawn proof. That's one thing about, building a raid farm. You usually do it on the ocean because it's spawn proof. And, I built it on the ocean, so it's spawn proof. But with the building around it, it becomes a little bit less spawn proof. So this entire building is actually completely spawn proof from bottom to top. There's 0 spawning spaces anywhere except for right there. And that's where the raid spawns in. Those are the only available spawning spots in the entire building. And so we can come all the way up here. There's not too much going on in the tower. Just the tube where the villagers are. Not a whole lot of decoration. Kind of look down and see it's mostly just end rods and whatnot to give some lighting from the outside. Up here and I just fell. This is such a long water elevator. And of course I fell out. Don't mind me just going up my ridiculously long water elevator again. So we are up here in the clock tower. Kind of put some like silly looking gears up here. Just kind of give a vibe of there's something happening up here. Maybe some sort of clock machinery is happening up here. And then we can always come up here to visit this top villager if we need to for any reason. That's why this is all here. I just mainly added access so I can come up here and check things out if I ever need to, if anything's ever gone wrong. This is the sky axis square right here. And if we come back down below here, back down to where I had that bulk storage, that's off to the right here, but then we have another entrance here, which is right here. So there's an entrance up there and an entrance right here. We can come through either one. And then this is another portal. And then back here is empty shulker storage. I need to try and fill this up a little bit more with more shulkers because this raid farm uses quite a few shulkers. I just to be diligent about, taking the emeralds, breaking them down into emerald blocks so I can get rid of, all those shulkers and put them back into the system and store the empty shulkers here and keep on loading up more. One of the armor stand dispensers is down here if that ever needs to be fixed. There's a bed. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to keep on running this thing whenever I have the time. Keep on collecting emeralds, collecting redstone, so I can keep my shop all nice and stocked. This is going to be a huge help in that regard. I'm very excited. That being said, we got lots done in this episode. We got a slime farm, a sculk farm, and now a raid farm. And they're looking great and working great, and I'm very happy. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. I will see you in the next video with more Titancraft. Bye-bye, everyone.